After knowing the wet chemical synthesis process of producing nanoparticles, now we'll understand how we can produce gas phase synthesis of nanoparticles. There are different methods. Out of that, we'll know about the furnace process. As we know, in the furnace, we are used to melt the materials. So this is one of the simplest procedure of creating nanoparticles by heating the desired material. The desired material may be like a silver, or it may be a germanium, or it may be gold, or it is also called as a target material, which has to be vaporized, or it has to be elevated into a temperature where it gets vaporized. Usually the elevated temperature goes to 2000 degrees centigrade. So at this temperature, what we are going to do? We are going to heat the target material with the help of a heat crucible. So here the heat resistance type of a crucible containers are made in which they are going to be heated. So this method is approximately used only for materials which are having a higher vaporizing temperature. So these vaporized materials are going to be made to pass through a tube, or they are going to be exposed to a tube where they are going to be having a closed environment. So there we find the inert gases, so that they form into some compounds, or they don't get reacted. So only they will be in a compounded form. So they form into a cluster. Then they are going to be deposited onto a substrate where it is going to be collected as a nanoparticles. So these area will be in a cold area where the nanoparticles are going to be created in a form of layers. So it will be getting adhered to the substrate, and which are the fumes, or some any other gases are there, they are going to be quite released as exhaust gases. So this is a typical schematic representation of a single phase nanomaterials from a heated crucible. So here we can see the precursor solution. The precursor solution will be having the metal alkyl oxide. So they are going to be there in this container. So they should not get attracted to the charges because of their charge elements. So we use a ultrasonic nebulizer, which is going to separate them or disperse them. And from this precursor solution, we are going to introduce some form of heat. Either it will be in the form of a arc heat, or it will be a electron beam heating, or any form of a Joule heating. The atoms here are going to be getting vaporized, so they will be converting into a vapor because of the elevated temperature, and these vaporized atoms are made to pass through this tube furnace. So this tube furnace will be having inert gas like helium, so which are non-reactive, or they form into a compounds. So different forms of compounds like lead and sulfur compounds can be formed from this nanomaterial process. So when these are passed through this tube furnace, then they are going to be going into a pipeline here. So there will be having the substrate on which these atoms are going to be targeted. So these atoms which are going to be bombarded on this substrate are going to get adhered, and it is going to form a uniform layer of nanoparticles on these substrate, and the unadhered or non-sticked nanoparticles are going to go as a exhaust. So they will be liberated or free to go. So in this manner, what we can see, we can form the nanoparticles using this furnace process. So we'll know in detail to carry out the reactive materials. Here we are going to use a very low vapor pressure which is fed into the furnace in a form of a suitable precursor which decomposes in the furnace to produce a condensable material. Next, the hot atoms of the evaporated materials will lose the energy by collision with the atoms of the cold gases. When these hot atoms which are getting evaporated from the precursors are going to come in contact with the furnace, tubular furnace, so the atoms are going to be getting coming in a cold area, so they will be getting condensed and they form into a small clusters. So this is due to the homogeneous nucleation happening. Then the cluster will continue to grow and they will remain in a super saturated region itself only. So it will be in a elevated temperatures super saturated region. Then to have this one, we see that they will be forming a controlled size and they will be rapidly moving. So they will be free to move and in the supersaturated environment with the help of the carrier gas like a helium or argon. So what will happen? These nanoparticles are made to move from one end to the another end. So using this furnace flow reactor, so we can able to create nanoparticles of silver, gallium and compounds such as Pb and S, that is lead and sulfur, can be obtained using this gas synthesis process, that is from the furnace process. Here now we will know about the flame assisted ultrasonic spray pyrolysis. So this is also one of the gas phase synthesis technique for creating nano material. So under this one we see here the materials whose nanoparticles has to be made or a nanomaterial has to be made are in the precursors. So this is metal alkyl oxides. So it is nebulized firstly and then it is going to be given a supply with a piezoelectric transducer. Means with the help of piezoelectric transducer, what we do, we make it to disperse. So this is, then these precursors are going to be passed through the carrier gases. So there is a fog created clusters and these clusters are going to be coming out in a form of droplets. So droplets containing precursors are coming out here because the carrier gas like helium is going to dominate and it is going to push these fog of the precursors and they come as a droplets. And these droplets, when they are going to be coming in contact with the flame, so what will happen, they convert it to clusters and they are going to get deposited on the substrate and form the nano material layers. So this is how the flame assisted ultrasonic spray pyrolysis work. So this is the schematic representation of a flame assisted ultrasonic spray pyrolysis. So in this we can see the different components. So like we are having the precursor with a nebulizer. To make it to happen, we have a piezoelectric transducer, a carrier gas which is going to be passing and taking this precursors in a form of a fog and letting it out from the outlet in the droplet form, and these droplets come in contact with the flame, so they create into a clusters, that is compounds, and then they are going to be getting deposited on the substrate of formation of nano materials. So here we can see a typical formation of nano structured powders at this flame assisted setup. So this is called also as a FSP also. So the precursors are fed through this orifice. So here, and surrounding this there is a flame which is going to make the precursors disperse and get evaporated. Then this evaporated precursors are going into the next phase where cluster nucleation and growth coagulation is going to form it, and when they come into contact with the cold region or a cold temperature, so nanoparticles aggregation and agglomeration is going to create the nanostructured powders. So you can see a magnified view of a nanopowders of 1 micrometer. So this is how the nanoparticles are created using FSP, that is flame assisted ultrasonic spray pyrolysis. So in this process, as we have mentioned you in the diagram, precursors are nebulized, then unwanted components are burnt away from the flame, and we get only the required material. The combustion of the flame in this synthesis is a burning of a gas mixture. Example, the acetylene and oxygen, or a hydrogen, or a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. They are the suppliers of energy to initiate the pyrolysis of the precursor compound. And this technique is mainly used in industries, so where we require higher quantity or a very large quantity of a carbon black or a fumed silica or a titanium oxide. Mainly this is used for bulk production of nanoparticles or nanomaterials. Here we see that there is a requirement of a gas pressure during this reaction. So high gas pressure is required. So these highly agglomerated powders are produced, and because of this there is a disadvantage of subsequent processing. The basic idea of having a low pressure combustion flame synthesis is to reduce or avoid the agglomeration. So using a low pressure combustion flame we can avoid the agglomeration, but low pressure flames have extensively used for aerosol by aerosol scientists to study particle formation in the flame. That is also been documented in literature. Then flame hydrolysis. These flame hydrolysis, there are variant in this process, and these are mainly used in manufacturing of fused silica. So using this process, silicon tetrachloride is heated in the oxyhydrogen flame to give highly dispersed silica. This results into a white amorphous powder containing spherical shaped nanoparticles ranging from 7 to 40 nanometer. So these types of method can be used in creating the compounds nanoparticles. So mainly used in preparation of compounded nanoparticles. Now we'll know about the gas condensation processing, or the very familiar GPC. So in this gas condensation process, it is quite similar to our ultrasonic spray pyrolysis or our furnace process. Here also we see the setup similar to our furnace process. It contains the target material which has to be converted into nanoparticles. So this is the target material, and it is getting vaporized. Carrier gas is supplied to this area, and the clusters which are getting converted are going to be condensed, and this condensation happens because of this cold finger. The cold finger will be having the cryogenic nitrogen gas, so it is going to condense, and with the help of a scraper you are going to scrape the coated nanoparticles. Collection of the nanoparticles will take place, and the collection nanoparticles are going to be further sent into the mechanical press, and you are going to be getting a consolidated samples of nanoparticles, or it can be sent into another process where it is passed through a solvent and collected in a solvent form. So this is a typical representation of a gas condensation synthesis of nanoparticles or nanomaterials formed by consolidation in mechanical press or collection in an appropriate solvent media. So this is a technique where metallic and inorganic materials are going to get vaporized using thermal evaporations sources like Joule heating, electron beam vaporization, or sputtering. Here the vaporized source is passed with the inert gas, and clusters do form in the vicinity of the source by the homogeneous nucleation in the gaseous phase, and they are going to get growth of cohesiveness incorporation of atoms from the gas phase. A rotary cylinder, a device which is cooled with a liquid nitrogen, that is at a cryogenic temperature, is enveloped with the particles which are collected. Here the nano size, what we get, material size will be ranging from 2 to 50 nanometer, and these are extracted from the gases by the thermophoresis process, and these are closely forced, and they are going to be layered with the glass finger, and they are going to be deposited loosely on the surface, and collection of this device as a powder of low density and no agglomeration is taking place. Subsequently, we can see that nanoparticles are removed from the surface of the cylinder by means of a scraper in a form of a metallic plate. So the nanoparticles which are deposited on the finger of the glass bowl, so these are going to be deposited with the help of a mechanical scraper. So mechanical scraper will be like this, circular. It is going to move up and down. So because of the scraping action, these nanoparticles which are adhered to this glass finger are going to be scraped down. This method allows a continuous operation of collecting of nanoparticles, and hence this is suitable for a large scale synthesis of nano powders. Next, we'll know about one of the famous or very much useful gas phase synthesis of a nanomaterial, that is chemical vapor condensation, or we call it as a CVC. It is also familiar as a CVD also, chemical vapor deposition. Sometimes it is used for depositing nanomaterials also. So here this comes under the plasma processing of nanomaterials. So this method is developed basically by the process of vapor condensation. So the metal precursors are melted, and these melting happens with the influence of plasma. The evaporated metal precursors will be forming into clusters, and they are getting ionized with the reactive gas, that is the ionized gas. So these are going to get react, then the molecular clusters are going to be formed, and they are going to be formed because of the influence of the cool temperatures. Then they are going to be separated and formed into nanoparticles. This is how the vapor condensation principle works. Let's see one by one how typically a vapor condensation or chemical vapor condensation setup is all about, or we call this one as a CVC reactor. In this CVC reactor, we see it is this precursor is placed on the heating zone. So this is the precursor which is in the container, which is getting heat by either inductive, resistive, or joule heating. So depending on the type of heating source we require, we are going to use it. Again, the precursor gets vaporized, so it is carried with the help of a carrier gas. It is made to pass through a heating zone, again reheating zone here, or it is the chamber where we are going to pass it. So here we are having the other reactors, reactants will be there. So here the reaction of these nanoparticles or the clusters are going to be formed, and further the cluster are made to pass through the tube. Here uniform heating is provided so that the temperature is not getting reduced and they don't lose their properties. So the condensation is going to take place when these clusters come in contact with this cold finger. The cold finger will be supplied with liquid nitrogen, the cryogenic fluid. So when these clusters come in contact with this, so they are going to get adhered, or they form a film, and they will be having a homogeneous nucleation of particles in this gas flow. And with the help of a scraper, you are going to scrape and collect the nanoparticles in the particle collection zone. So here we are going to have the time adjustment of the precursor by changing the gas flow rate. So using pressure difference and the delivery system, we can maintain the flow of the gas which is happening from the precursor to the chamber. Then the temperature of a Hall wall reactor results in a fertile production of nanoparticles. So we give certain time for the preparation of pure nanoparticles. So this method is mainly used for the preparation of good quality of nanoparticles of metals and ceramic. Just in the previous cases, we have seen that it is able to produce nanoparticles in films, but in this one we can make it into a form of a nano particle size of a smaller smaller size. In this form, a metal organic precursor is introduced into a hot zone, which we have seen in the diagram, and the reactor uses gas flow controller. Besides increasing the quantities in their continuous process, CPC can be demonstrated for wider range of ceramics, including nitrides and carbides, and these are used in coatings of our tools also. Additionally, more complex oxides such as BA titanium oxides or composite structures can be formed as well. In addition to formation of single phase nanoparticles by CVC, single precursor, the reactor allows the synthesis of mixture of nanoparticles to two phase or a droplet nanoparticles by supplying two precursors at the front end of the reactor and coated nanoparticles. Because CVC process is a continuous process, the production capability of such is larger when compared to GPC processing, that is gas phase processing. So quantities as excess of 20 grams per hour can be readily produced with the small scale laboratory reactors. So much of the nano products or nanoparticles which are produced are basically nowadays using this CVC or chemical vapor condensation technique to produce nanoparticles. Thank you. You can contact me at my email ID, that is naveen.kalal@canaraengineering.in.